Welcome back to Swine Insights Unleashed. Bits and Bacon, Unveiling AgTech's Pork Production Revolution. We will explore how technology has impacted innovation, efficiency, cost savings, advancements, even a multifaceted approach. Plus, we're also going to offer some insights into the industry in 2024. So without further ado, let's get right to it. And now we're back with Ben Allen. He is the CEO of BinSentry. Ben, what a time for your company right now and what BinSentry is doing all across the ag industry.
You know, we're excited to be here, Vic. Thanks for having us on, and we're having a lot of fun lately.
Well, we try to focus on companies that are making a difference, that have technology, that are pushing the envelope a little bit forward here at Swine Web TV. And with that, we start in with what's making your company stand out right now. And two things come to mind. All you have to do is look at your website and you see it. Your utilization of AI technology in your optical sensors. If you can speak about that and how they are affecting business today in 2024.
Happy to. And both of those topics go together really nicely. They're closely connected. So our sensors are best in class. We've got optical sensors that use machine vision to actually map the surface of the inventory. As we all know, animal feed doesn't flow cleanly like gravel or sand would. It gets peaks and valleys and rat holes and all kinds of weird shapes. In order to be accurate, you need to map the surface of the inventory, which we do. And we use artificial intelligence, which is patented for us, to make that highly accurate as a process. More importantly, though, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Forgive me. It's got to be faster and cheaper.
It's definitely faster and cheaper. I mean, you can send somebody out with a rubber mallet, or they can throw rocks at a bin, or they can climb a ladder, but the human eye is not going to be that good at giving you great data. It's just not the path to success. Our optical sensors, way more accurate, fraction of the price, and they're always on. More importantly, though, this used to be about just watching inventory and know whether you're empty or full or somewhere in between. But today, with the data set that we have, we monitor thousands of bins every day, and that grows by hundreds every month. We can tell what's going to happen in the future. We can send operators notifications about what's going to happen at that barn or what is happening at that barn, so they can affect problems before they get expensive.
What kind of feedback, so to speak, are you getting from companies that are using the technology, using what really seems like state-of-the-art data to help increase their business?
Well, when you think about it, companies really care about taking care of their animals, obviously. They take great care of their animals. They go way out of their way to do it. But there are certain pieces of the data and the operations they've never been able to see. For instance, most barns have tandem feed bin setups where they've got two bins that are serving that barn. And the slides that you open and close are manual. You can't tell if they're open and closed unless you're standing in front of them. But with our sensors and our data sets, we can actually see what slide management does to impact the feeding of the animals. Watching over 10,000 bins a day, when our data set crossed that number, we can tell, for instance, that out of feed events happen 4.4 times more often due to slide management issues on site than they do to actually being out of feed. When you can see new things, you can manage new things, and well, that's better for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you're explaining that those accurate readings means a big deal, I guess, when you're getting those accurate readings and you're able to make a little bit more money. It just seems like there would also be an opportunity where companies might be able to have maybe one person or two people do all the feed ordering because it's so streamlined.
Yeah, the old process, which my grandfather used to do scheduling at a feed mill, he would recognize today's business with maybe the exception of spreadsheets, was somebody hammers on a bin, then they call in an order and you do your best to fulfill that order because it's the best you've got. Today, what we allow people to do, what our customers are doing, is you've got one or two people that open their machines, their laptops, see the entire asset base, all the feed barns and all the feed bins and the barns that they serve, and then they can handle all the deliveries. They don't need anybody from the field to call in and do anything.
Boy, it certainly makes sense when you explain it like you do. What do you see on the horizon here for 2024 and maybe into the future?
Well, in 2024, I think what we're seeing is companies make the turn into digitizing data streams. What that means in most cases is they're adding sensors into old dumber assets, if we can call them that. They weren't smart without technology. You can bolt that technology on literally. That's step one, understanding that you can do it. But over the next handful of quarters, what you're going to see is AI come in, and in AI and ag, you got to clarify, I mean, artificial intelligence. We want to be able to use artificial intelligence to automate things that today's spreadsheets are doing. We want to lean into that automation so that we can address part of our talent and labor shortage that we have.
Well, it's remarkable the success that you guys are having right now, and the companies that you are helping, they certainly sing your praises, and that's why we wanted to focus on what you guys are doing at BinSentry. Ben Allen, the CEO with BinSentry, thank you so much for your time.
Vic, I sure appreciate it.
We're now joined by BJ Brugman. He is the CEO and founder of Distynct. BJ, I love your company. With so much going on in the ag industry, so much to think about. I'm curious, do individuals or businesses forget about security or think, oh, the security I had before, that's going to be good enough? Because in this day and age, you got to protect what you have.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that's probably a process that we've just grown accustomed to. I think, barn alarms, of the past has been just kind of a process that we've accepted as painful and continue to move forward. And so what we're trying to do is really bring to light, there is an opportunity to change that process and an opportunity to provide, more remote visibility to the farm with the Distynct smart alarm system.
Protect, predict, and progress. Those are the 3 Ps you have regarding your company. Can you explain what that means and why it can help people?
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the evolution of ag technology. And so we're starting, our Distynct starts with the protect component of that, which is a better alarm system. So remote visibility to the farm, providing insights into, what current temperatures are, what's water pressure, right? Are there emergencies on this farm that would require attention immediately? Really, that kind of covers that protect umbrella. And ultimately we see that the foundation of Distynct and the connectivity engine that powers the smart alarm system, being able to enable future technology. And we just know that there are going to continue to be more questions that are asked of the farm and the contents of those barns, in this case, swine. And we think that there will be more and more devices that come to the farm as well. And that really gets into the predict piece. So we start to think about if we add more devices, we're asking more questions. We go from protecting, right, understanding what's going on right now, to then being able to use those devices to make predictions. What's going to happen with either the structure of the building that those animals live in or with the animals themselves. And ultimately the goal, right, is to make progress like that. We want to move the industry towards more, adoption of precision technology. And we think the Distynct smart alarm system is really the foundation of moving in that direction.
From my own humble opinion in studying what you guys do and studying your alarm systems, one thing I think so unique about what you guys do is you can utilize wiring, hardware that's already in place. Talk about how your technology incorporates what may be already there, if that's the way that an owner wants to go, instead of having to do something from scratch.
Yeah, I think that's been a key part of our value proposition to swine producers, is really that you can use the existing infrastructure that you already have. The ask of us is provide me remote visibility of my farm. I want to know what's going on without having to be on the farm, and I want a 10 times better alarm system. The Distynct value proposition to start is most of the infrastructure you have is already good. You don't need to run any new wires. You don't need to buy any new probes. All this equipment already exists. And really for us, that's kind of, we kind of say the wow is the how we do it, right? The how we do that makes it really, really simple. You can go from no visibility, right? An old and archaic system to complete remote visibility in probably 30 minutes, simply by using the infrastructure that you already have. We bring those wires right out of your old alarm system, plug them into the Distynct connectivity engine, and in about 30 minutes or less, you have complete remote visibility to that site.
Do you have any stats that kind of state where we are in 2024 from a swine industry when it comes to needing to protect what you have, when it comes to maybe people coming in and trying to steal this or that situation, in regards to why somebody would really want the alarm safety aspect of this?
Yeah, I think the big piece that I kind of always point to, would be related to the value of the structure itself and the contents inside. So it's not necessarily the equipment, right, that we're trying to protect from an alarm security standpoint, but I think one thing to think about this is think about occupancy rate. And so I've compared the value of the structure and the contents to like a lake house, right? If you had a lake house that was a $2.5 million asset, just like some of these livestock farms are, you would protect that as best you could, right? You would outfit that with all kinds of sensors, devices. You'd be able to see that, on your phone at all times. You would protect that because it's a high asset value. And the same is true, I think, of these livestock facilities too. We have structures that have value. The contents inside are extremely valuable. So I think the big piece is trying to compare it with something else. Like what are we doing in other spaces? What are we doing in other industries to protect these high value assets? And the answer is everything. Right? We do everything to protect those. And I think in the swine farm, we're just trying to set that foundation with the Distynct connectivity engine to enable people to keep asking more questions to protect that asset.
Finally, BJ, a quick note about how and why you want people to remember Distynct.
Yeah, I think two parts really is the initial piece is you can get remote visibility of your farm with very little cost, right? It's the idea is no new wires, no new probes, and get yourself a better alarm experience, protect that asset, know what's going on in your farm at all times. And I think the second piece of that is really Distynct is the foundational component, right? That the progress piece of our tagline, protect, predict, progress, is that we're setting the foundation for more precision technology to be adopted. We think overcoming the helping producers overcome the barrier of getting internet connectivity to the site is foundational, right? And I don't think that we will provide every device from now until eternity, that answers the questions that are being asked of these farms. But I think every device will need an internet connection, and you can use Distynct as the source of internet on your farm, in addition to providing your farm with a 10 times better alarm product.
BJ Brugman, he is the CEO and founder of Distynct. BJ, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Swine Insights Unleashed, Bits and Bacon, Unveiling Ag Tech's Pork Production Revolution. Today we have Dwight Mowler, Senior Partner at Mowler Farms in Iowa, and we wanted to get a producer's perspective today. Welcome, Dwight.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Pleasure to be with you.
So when we talk about ag tech, what's your perspective on its impact on your farm, and how do you define ag tech? In which ways has it contributed to enhancing efficiency and productivity on your farm?
Well, so the thing that we focus on mostly with ag tech is helping to have data-driven systems. And when I say data-driven systems, I'm talking about having production data that generates real-time reports, and reports that are internally facing primarily at what we call our frontline workers. And so when you can engage and inform frontline workers with a real-time scoreboard, the level of engagement and productivity from your staff increases immensely, and the fulfillment for those workers, you really can't even explain how much more fulfilled they are. And it actually contributes to lower turnover. It contributes to just greater satisfaction, worker satisfaction, which in the end results in better performance.
And real quick, Dwight, when did you implement that?
Well, so it is a work in process. We have been actually developing our information systems really over the last 10 years, but I would say that's accelerated here in the last 3 to 4 when it's become a primary focus of ours. And now that we have real-time scorecards that continue to evolve for all areas and all enterprise of our business, it not only has empowered frontline workers, but it creates a lot of excitement with external facing stakeholders such as our consulting veterinarians, our consulting nutritionists, even our lenders who get real-time looks at our production records. It's been a huge win.
We'll keep driving the innovation. Dwight Mowler from Mowler Farms. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
We're joined now by Rob Hannam. He is the CEO of Farm Health Guardian. Rob, thanks for taking time to join us. You have a very unique biosecurity software system that's really making some news all across the world right now. Can you tell us how you're utilizing your platform to address challenges when it comes to diseases in the pig industry and the poultry industry?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Vic, and thanks, SwineWeb, for this opportunity. We all know that disease risk is a big risk that our farmers, our systems are aware of. They're trying to manage that every day. And what we've built is a software solution specific for that as a biosecurity management system. And a couple of things about it, like we're trying to focus on trucks and people, those two aspects of biosecurity, and give customers, the users of the system, veterinarians, farm owners, a management tool to help raise their game, up their game on biosecurity. There was a study, I think it's commonly known, like the PED is one of the big diseases that moves around through people and trucks. There was a study out of University of Montreal that even with PRRS, 20% of PRRS infections are transferred by a truck inadvertently. So it's a big problem. We're trying to help people up their game on biosecurity and reduce disease risk.
How are you using your platform to leverage technology to streamline any disease prevention?
Technology is a great opportunity for us. An example of technology and data that's sitting right there available for us to use is the GPS data that's already in your truck fleet. Whether it's feed trucks or livestock trucks, most of them are on a GPS system. That GPS data is being used for the route or to know where the truck is. But we can actually apply our biosecurity analytics and configure your biosecurity protocols, just pulling in your GPS data, giving that back to customers so they can now check to see if their protocols are followed, not just did the truck take the proper route. So that's a great way to leverage what the data you already got and get more from your GPS. Another example is using facial recognition to unlock the barn door. So when your workers or when you go into the barn, how many of you use your cell phone and facial recognition? You open your cell phone with your face, right? It's the same idea. So we've got a controlled entry system called Protocol that we're launching this year, where you're going to be opening the barn, unlocking it based on who is coming to the barn, and really more controlled access in swine barns.
Can you walk us through how easily this is integrated with your people?
Yeah, the enrollment process for your workers is pretty simple. We get used to this with using technology on our smartphone, and so we try to make it as intuitive as we can. Where you get a text message with your enrollment code when you get to the barn that first day that our system's been applied. You hit your enroll and do the facial recognition installation just like you would on your phone. So it's pretty easy. On the truck side with GPS, we can link in the background to your GPS data that you've already got, and then provide you with a new layer of insights and visibility on your truck fleet that you didn't have before.
And finally, if you could address the future technology in this business.
Well, we collect a lot of movement data of these trucks and people, and that's how disease sometimes gets spread around. So our next step is predictive analytics. As we look to the future, we can use machine learning to help us predict where disease is going before it happens, so we can stop it before, reduce outbreaks right away.
Well, it's Rob Hannam. He is the CEO of Farm Health Guardian. We appreciate your time. Very unique company, and we wish you continued success.
Great. Thank you. Take care.
So as you can see in this series, we are diving deep into all areas that we possibly can to make sure that you are as informed as you can possibly be. We are reaching out, trying to find every area of interest throughout the pork industry to bring you the news that you can truly use. So with that, let's get back to the content. We're joined now by Chris Baumgars. He is the founder of everypig.com. Chris, thanks for joining us today. You're certainly doing everything you can with your company to modernize the swine production industry. Such a fascinating company that you have. Explain what you're doing with technology, even utilizing AI to help a variety of people.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Vic. So it is a really exciting time for us. We've been working on things like AI for more than 5 years now, probably closer to 7 years. And I think there's a real interesting change happening where AI in our industry is now being seen as potentially artificial intelligence and not just artificial insemination. But really the first step of that is digitizing and getting as much structured data as possible. And Every Pig's been doing that by helping producers to digitize their paper barn sheets and giving them real-time access to what's happening on all their farms. And so that was really the first step along the way.
How easy is the software to use? Because I'm assuming it's a software that in technology, when you're talking to people or producers, who haven't used this before, I'm sure there's got to be some sort of a learning curve.
Yeah, I think that the fear of breaking things is always in the back of everyone's mind. And in terms of software, if you can break it, we haven't done our job, right? So we've onboarded over 2,700 users of all different levels of education, from producers in Thailand to veterinarians in Canada. And in our design early on, it was really important. We knew that we can make it as easy as possible for people in their 70s or 80s to use it, and people in their teens. And so we're really seeing kind of technology bridging that gap between some of these older caregivers and older farmers that are sort of phasing out and handing over the baton to the younger generations. And they're seeing technology as really a way to kind of connect them to modern farming practices as these transitions happen.
What kind of response are you getting once somebody starts to use this smarter livestock technology? Because it's all about, I guess, saving time and saving money, that ROI, which everybody knows is so key.
Yeah, you nailed it. Right now, profitability is everything. The industry in North America, at least, has been losing money for quite a bit of time. And so one area that we try help them is lowering mortality rates. And that's really through quicker recognition and response to pig health challenges. So we find the data collection's easy, takes caregivers about 45 seconds to fill up a daily checkup on average. But the important thing that needs to happen afterwards is a response from the field managers and veterinarians. And when we can close that loop and give the caregivers feedback is really where we see the magic happening.
Have you gotten any blowback on anything? Because it just seems like it works too well, especially in the year 2024, when we know swine production has had some tough years as it already is.
Yeah, I think people in agriculture don't see things changing around them maybe as fast as people living in cities. And I think there's a little more aversion to adoption of new technologies in agriculture. McKinsey says this is the least digitized industry in the world. And I'm not sure if they're wrong. So I think just habit, the habit of driving to farms, instead of maybe monitoring a computer where you can cover 10 times as many farms a day. And I think some of the pushback just comes from breaking some of those old habits and people really needing to pick up new tools that can make them more efficient at their jobs.
Yeah, I remember when the cell phone was introduced, there were those of us who looked at that and went, I don't know if I want to use this. I don't know if I could use this. I'm curious, do you have research or data that shows once people do give your product a try, if they stick with it?
We really need to do a better job probably of quantifying that. We see it in our
I bet they do, but Chris, I bet they do.
Yeah, we've got a lot of, including my family business that raises a lot of pigs in Northwest Iowa and really pig dense areas that diseases spread through really quickly. And I can tell you anecdotally, looking at the mortality rates, they're much lower than you'll see in the industry on average. But I think you're right, that'd be something worth quantifying at some point. We also see them saving on antibiotic withdrawal period warnings and things like that. So they're not sending pigs with antibiotics in them to the packer and avoiding major fines. So it's a bit of an insurance policy, but it's definitely a real-time dashboard to help you actually save pig lives.
Finally, what's the best way for people to contact you or learn more about your company and what you can offer?
Yeah, so we're on LinkedIn. We're also on Twitter or X. But I think probably the best way is just go to www.everypig.com, take a look at what we have. And if you'd like to learn more, hit that request a demo, and we'd love to hear from you.
Chris, fantastic information. We appreciate you taking time, and best of luck in your future endeavors.
Thanks, Vic. I appreciate it.
Joined now by Joel Sayes. He is the president of Fauson Controls. Joel, thanks for taking some time to join us. You're certainly making a dent when it comes to the ag tech industry. Speak about what you guys are doing right now from an innovative standpoint. Let everybody know what Fauson is all about.
Thanks, Vic. Thanks for having me. Just to dive in a little bit about Fauson. So we are an ag tech company, and we specialize in the development and manufacturing of ventilation and electronic control systems. Now, Faison's been around for a number of years, since 1985, and we have developed various controllers to control different barn environments. And these controllers are part of a bigger system that allows producers to operate their facilities with peace of mind, knowing that their animals are being taken care of in a healthy environment. But we're also looking for efficiency. So, touching on what we're trying to do is, we're looking for different things that we can bring to the industry to help the producers, take what was important to them and really automate it, measure it, and basically make it so that it can be utilized across all these different types of barns that are out there. Just for looking for those efficiency improvements, help improve the animal health, and those type of things.
From an innovative standpoint specifically, how are you trying to change the industry?
We like to, collaborate with industry stakeholders like the producers, the vets, and other industry experts to identify those areas that, we need to focus on. What we're looking at doing is we're actually really pushing the envelope as things have changed now in the industry over the years. It's gotten to the point where internet connectivity is at the barns now, so we can do a lot of things that we have dreamed of for years. So really, as the future goes, I see our industry changing where we're going to be able to, integrate, some advanced control things that, like I said, we've thought about for years, such as AI, right at the barn level. So really pushing the envelope with industrial Internet of Things technology, along with edge computing devices, just to really help those farmers be able to make real-time decisions, make changes automatically, and improve the productivity of the barns.
Joel, how easy is it for producers to use this technology that you're bringing?
That's a great point. That's one area that we've been focusing a lot on. We've, obviously, for being in business for a lot of years, we've had things that were very simple with a knob where you can make some adjustments, and the control would kind of maintain that set point. And now we've gotten to the point where we have touch screens on the controls, and really making use of that to make it easy. Because if with an industry that has sometimes high turnover of workers in the barn, you want to be able to make things intuitive and very simple to use. So we're really putting a lot of effort in that area. We actually are also building right in the help, the help manual right into the control, so that you only have to go like one mouse button or one click away from seeing that information and learning what you're trying to figure out for the controller. And we're trying to really make it easy in the sense that, you can either have the control, you set it up and you forget it, or you could interact with it daily. It'll cover all of those needs for you.
And finally, if you could quickly let us know about where you see the industry going in the future and how you plan to be a part of it.
So yeah, once again, I'll circle back and touch on the internet and how everything is now connected. That's where I see things really moving to in our industry. So with that new technology and that connectivity that is now there, we're able to really take advantage of that and look at what's happening at the barn in real time and make some decisions that could help you improve the health of your animals, as well as be more efficient and effective. But really, our goal is to bring those tools to the producer to help them be able to make their lives easier and help us provide a reliable, sustainable food source for the world.
Joel, we appreciate you taking time with us today. Joel says he is the president, as we told you about, with Fauson Controls. Joel, thank you so much for your time. We'll catch up with you later.
Thank you very much.
Back to Swine Insights Unleashed. Bits and Bacon, Unveiling Ag Tech's Pork Production Revolution. Today I have Adam Walters and Jonathan Tosh from Tosh Farms to talk about something they're creating internally at Tosh Farms. Welcome to the program, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jim.
What is shaping up in Tosh Farms from an ag tech perspective, Jonathan?
Started with our feed and grain program. in our feed mill where we make all of our tickets electronically. We've increased that to our trucking side that all the tickets, the trucker makes their own load tickets electronically. It is tied into the livestock schedule as well. So all that ties into them so they see their loads. Once they create the tickets, say for going, top hogs going to the packers, when that ticket's created, it's sent to the packer, to their OPG pigs. That form that the packer needs is also created as well. It's a TQA number and TQA numbers, premise ID numbers is created on there as well. So, so they get all the information they need. When they're doing wing pig limits, they also create their tickets there. And once them tickets are created, they go to Adam groups and they take over. So
with the wing to finish department, we have around 20 managers, and with this program, the receiving tickets from the sow farms, I guess we've probably been live with it for about a year and a half. And whenever the truck driver picks up the pigs from the sow farm, he'll create the ticket, sow farm name, how many he loaded, weight, and all that. And then whenever it's delivered to the wing to finish farm, our baby pig techs are there to unload the truck, sort the pigs, and get our inventory off of that load. And then after that, they go in to the Tosh website, into the portal, and that ticket will be waiting there for them to finish filling out. So they'll put down check the count and what we accepted, and the number of calls and everything, and then submit that. And then from that goes out to the accounting department and to my managers. And we've been doing that. I guess altogether, we've probably been working on this program maybe 3 years. And I know what Jonathan's working with in trucker pay and stuff is a lot more complex than just what I'm trying to do in my department, which is get rid of just all the paperwork we do. All of it will be going through the portal. And like all of our sales tickets, they'll be very similar to what we do with the receiving tickets. It'll just be turned around that our market hog selectors, they will create the tickets. Whenever the truck driver picks up, and he'll put down how many he loaded, and if there was any loading directions or anything on the ticket created by the market hog selector, that'll be on there too. And like Jonathan was saying, whenever the driver submits that ticket after he's loaded, that'll go to Swift. And, if it is an OPG farm, it will have the OPG form with it, with their premise ID number and also their PQA numbers. And that's one that takes care of two different forms of paper, the paper ticket and then also the OPG form. This way we can track that ticket down. And I've discussed with our accounting department that where I want to see this program going down the road, which we're probably a year out from being able to combine all those tickets in with our Business Central program, where we can have individual barns and farms in the portal, where everything, the weekly inventories of death loss, of feed, all the forms my managers fill out, all the tickets will be pulled into that one barn. And then at the end of the turn, it can balance a closeout. And so that's very helpful, because you have all the tickets you're trying to keep up with during that time. And if it's all in one place, it makes all that so much easier for accounting department. And with my regional managers, they have their service tech reports and pre-fills, and we do nursery reports. And right now all that's paper. We just take a picture of it and email it. All of those reports will be in the portal, so they will log in there and find the report, fill it out, then submit it, and it'll go to the farmer, me, and everybody that's on the email list. So it'll eliminate all the paperwork and hopefully eliminate losing tickets. And I guess that's sort of the simplified part of it compared to what it
Yeah.
gets very complex when it goes in with Jonathan's side and figuring out trucker pay and everything.
Yeah. So we'll touch base on feed deliveries on that piece. Is when a feed mill makes a ticket and for some reason a barn owner forgot to haul in his inventory and he's ran out of feed. When the feed mill creates a ticket, they know it's a ASAP load, and they got a box they check. And when they complete the ticket at the feed mill for loading the truck, the grower actually gets a text message saying the feed is on the way, so they know how long it takes to get there from our site. And once the feed is unloaded, they also get another text message from when the driver hits it unloaded that the feed's been delivered. All their tickets are electronically delivered via email for all those, but they only get text messages for being out of feed if they've been out.
An amazing use of internal technology, gentlemen. We look forward to following the journey and discussing this when it's complete. Adam Walters and Jonathan Tosh, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Technology, innovation, and yes, AI, they are all here to stay. A business must simply adapt and overcome or get overrun. With that being said, we do encourage you to explore our SwineWeb's Ag Tech page and to remember to always keep an open mind about new technologies and new ways of thinking. With that, we say thank you so much for watching this edition of Swine Insights Unleashed. I'm Vic Faust.